So I'm about ready to leave my shift. I'm like just done. Because the staffing gets worse and worse. There's no male staff tonight. Yet I've said where I work, they accept everyone. I mean, you don't even have to have a mental health crisis. If you're dangerous, they for sure want you. Because I realized, and I've been saying this for a while, how American Nurses Association and the nursing union, that they're deliberately, they got on board with the UN and the globalist agenda, the 17 unsustainable development goals. They got on board with it because they're willing to do the bidding for the UN and forcing the socialized system on Americans. I just am shocked at the lengths they'll go to, because it finally dawned on me. Because, well, last week, 2 nurses quit right after orientation at the beginning of their shift. That's a lot of nurses to quit that were just hired. Techs are leaving. This has been an ongoing problem, but it keeps getting worse. And then while the staffing gets worse, they're adding more. So now, instead of having 12 patients, you have to go up to 13, and they'll make it worse and worse. And so you wonder, why are they doing this? Why are they doing this? Well, they're doing this because, again, I've said it before, they're trying to force socialism. They're trying to force the government to come in and fix it, because then they can force socialism. What is absolutely disgusting about what is happening is that the nursing associations, like, say, well, I don't know, it's strange to have an emergency room nurse come be a chief nursing officer in a psych facility, when really her only background, besides, doing the bidding for corporate, is emergency room, and being at the state level at National Nurses for her specialty, Emergency Nurses Association. And she was a treasurer for that, and she's been advocating for safe staffing levels, and advocating that something needs to be done about workplace violence. Really, really, really. Except that you people are chief nursing officers, some of you. And while you're supposedly advocating to Washington, and I'm sure you are, because you want to force socialism on Americans. So, nobody can really do anything about that, right? You really can't. They can have whatever political ideology they want. They're sick and twisted, obviously. But they're even worse than sick and twisted. I work in a place that will take the most dangerous people and deliberately short staff. They want people to leave. They want people to get hurt. That's the only explanation for why they would do it. Nobody should have to come to work scared. Nobody should have to come to work scared. And yet, me saying that, the other thing these nurses are doing at these association levels are saying nurses are so burned out, and because for the socialists, the ends justify the means, whatever it takes. But see, I work in a place that is so dangerous. It's the worst I've ever worked in. And tonight, so bad, and yet there's not one male staff, and there's not enough staff anyway, but no males. And I'm ready to just walk. And then what I'm ready to do is go after Emergency Nurses Association and every one of you nursing associations. And you may think, oh, I don't stand a chance. No, I think people know what you're up to. I do. And no nurse should ever be so damn politically obsessed, ideology-wise, that they are willing to put people in danger. So see, when you have a chief nursing officer that came from Emergency Nurses Association, and yet is in Washington carrying on to, legislate that we need better staffing ratios, that may seem to most nurses like, well, they're trying to do something about it. Yeah, no. So if you're a really good nurse, then you stand up for what's right. So while that's going on and you're supposedly, patting yourself on the back, while you're at home, you're watching people on camera, you're calling intake saying, get those nurses to do report, get those nurses to do all 3 admissions at once, even though it's med pass. You're doing everything everything you can to stress nurses out, to cause harm. And that is unacceptable. That is where you have crossed the line. You are deliberately doing it. What a disgrace. Think about the personality disorder with that. What a hypocrite. You know you don't have enough staff. You know it's dangerous. You know people are afraid. You know people keep quitting. And you know, you people never say anything to corporate, do you? You nurse practitioners that are from these associations too. You just call and you keep pressuring and needling nurses. And you want people to quit, because the more injuries that happen to staff, the more injuries that happen to patients, then it serves you and corporate that you work for. Because then you can say the government has to do something. You people are sick. And this is how even sicker they are. This week, Emergency Nurses Association advocated for a law that addresses the need to protect healthcare workers from workplace violence. Nurse abuse is the focus of this clip. Yeah, so people may not be able to follow me here, because if you don't understand globalism, if you don't understand the link socialists will go to, then you're not going to be able to follow me, because you would say, oh, well, they're trying to address workplace violence. If you're a chief nursing officer and you're the one at home continually trying to put stress on a workplace you know is violent, on a work staff that you know doesn't have enough staff, and yet you're saying we're timing, we're doing this, we're watching you on cameras, then you are the problem with healthcare. You are not the answer, and nobody in Washington should listen to you. It just amazes me that you bastards, you never call out corporate. Instead, you do the bidding for corporate, because you're all in the same game together. Except now you have taken your game to a level of putting people in harm's way. And I think that you think you'll get away with it. And some of you just being totally misguided and believing whatever your association says. Okay, sorry that you just fell for the game. But that's what they're doing. So where I work in psych, why is there a chief nursing officer that came from, she's an emergency nurse? Well, because she came from the association level, that's why. And what I've seen her do is disregard staff, tell them to take more patients than we're supposed to have to take. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to keep ramping it up because she wants people to get hurt. She'd have to, because how can you be that stupid? If you're truly a good nurse leader, then you don't tell yourself, hey, I'm going to do the bidding for corporate, but I'm also going to go to Washington and legislate for safer staffing. You would do the right thing. You're not doing the right thing. You bend over for corporate, but then you want to make it out to your nurses, and I don't think they believe you anyway, or any of these people believe you. Make it out to your nurses, oh, you're trying to do something about this. If you were, then why are you doing the bidding for corporate when you know it's not safe? Why are you needling nurses? You better take this patient, you better accept this, you better call nurse to nurse. Why are you doing that? You people, you are very sick people. And the reason they're doing it is because it's all tied to that global agenda, global Emergency Nurses Association. Yeah, they're a proud leader. You shouldn't call yourself a leader. The emergency nurse who's a CNO where I work, you shouldn't call yourself a leader. A leader stands up for what is right. A leader doesn't sit there and micromanage a staff that she barely has. We're in a place where she knows it's dangerous, yet she pushes nurses. You got to take them, you got to take them, you got to take more, you got to take more patients. It doesn't matter how dangerous they are. It doesn't matter. You are the problem. All of you nursing associations are the problem. Disgusting people you are. Morally bankrupt in every way.